Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world. Coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe an old coin jar that's been sitting untouched for years, and out rolls a dull brown penny. You're about to toss it aside until you notice something strange. A tiny D mint mark just below Lincoln's shoulder. You think, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that this 1-cent coin could be worth $999,000 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny worth nearly $1 million. Now, before you say that can't be real, let me stop you there. Because collectors across America are quietly hunting for one very specific 2009 D Lincoln cent that's shaking up the entire coin community. And the shocking part? Most people have already touched one and never even realized it. So grab your cup of coffee, sit back, and let's uncover how a humble 2009 D Lincoln penny became one of the most sought-after treasures in American coinage. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle you never thought possible. Back in 2009, to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, the U.S. Mint released 4 different designs of the Lincoln cent, each showing a different chapter of his life. Millions of these coins were minted in Denver. That's what the little D stands for. But among those millions, a tiny fraction came out differently. A rare minting error that slipped past the mint's watchful eyes. A flaw so subtle that it can only be spotted by those who truly know what they're looking for. This isn't your everyday coin error. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and mysterious missing details that transformed a regular penny into a collector's dream. Some of these coins show Lincoln's image slightly doubled, or a shifted design that reveals layers of the minting process, like a ghostly echo of history pressed into copper. And the market? It's red hot. Auctions have seen these error coins reach mind-blowing prices: $50,000, $250,000, and yes, the rarest 2009 D error penny has been appraised at $999,000. Coin dealers are calling it the new gold rush. And guess what? It's happening in people's kitchen drawers, piggy banks, and coin jars right now. You might be wondering, how can a 1-cent coin be worth a fortune? Simple. Scarcity, story, and demand. Every collector wants to own a piece of history, and the 2009 D Lincoln penny isn't just history, it's legacy. It represents the spirit of America's most beloved president, captured in metal during one of the most uncertain economic years in modern memory, the 2009 recession. There's a poetic irony there. A penny from the toughest financial time now worth almost $1 million. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some experts believe there are still undiscovered error coins out there. They've never been graded, never been seen, just waiting to be found. Maybe in a jar. Maybe in your pocket change. Maybe in your collection. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that a small coin you once ignored could change your entire life. That's the reality for a handful of Americans who took the time to look closer. They didn't have fancy equipment or deep numismatic knowledge. They just had curiosity, patience, and belief that rare treasures still exist in plain sight. Right now, the coin market is booming. Collectors are paying top dollar for authenticated 2009 D era pennies, and the demand keeps climbing. This isn't a trend, it's a wave of opportunity. As more people wake up to the value of rare coins, the prices are only going one way, up. So don't let this moment pass you by. Go through your jars, your wallets, your old change trays. Look for that 2009 penny with the D mark. Examine it under good light. If you spot anything unusual, a doubling in the design, a shifted strike, missing letters, or strange details, you might just be holding a $999,000 masterpiece in your hand. Because the truth is, the wealthy don't just find luck. They recognize it when it's sitting right in front of them. And before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Every millionaire collector started with a single coin. What if yours is waiting for you tonight? So, if you found this story eye-opening, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who might unknowingly be holding onto a fortune. And stay tuned. In our next video, I'll reveal how a simple 1983 Lincoln penny sold for over $18,000 and how you can tell if you have one. Imagine this. You're going through an old jar of pennies, maybe one your grandfather left behind, and you spot a dull, ordinary copper coin dated 1941. You think nothing of it. After all, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that this very coin, the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, could be worth up to $875,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. $875,000 for a single cent. Now before you roll your eyes, stick with me, because this isn't some fairy tale or internet rumor. This is one of the rarest and most highly sought-after error coins in US history. And who knows? You could be sitting on a hidden treasure that's been lying unnoticed in your pocket change for decades. The story of the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny begins in the chaos of World War II. A time when America was gearing up for conflict, industries were shifting, and even the US Mint was under immense pressure. Somewhere in that whirlwind, a few coins slipped through the cracks with critical minting errors. Errors so rare they become legends in the coin-collecting world. But what makes this penny so valuable? And how could a small piece of copper become worth more than most people's houses? Let's dig in, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how a single discovery could completely change your financial destiny. To understand the magic behind the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, we need to journey back in time. The no-mint mark refers to coins struck in Philadelphia, which often didn't carry a mint mark at all. But here's where things get interesting. A few of these pennies were struck using improperly prepared dies, creating unique variations, off-center strikes, double-die errors, and die cracks that turned them into one-of-a-kind collectibles. Now, if you're thinking, all right, so it's just a small error, think again. These imperfections are what make the coin perfectly rare. The coin community is obsessed with these anomalies. It's like a fingerprint in history. No two are exactly alike. And when rarity meets demand, the market explodes. Today, collectors and investors from across the world are bidding outrageous amounts to own this historical artifact. The latest recorded auction for a pristine, uncirculated 1941 no-mint mark error penny reached $875,000. That's life-changing money, enough to pay off debts, buy a luxury home, or travel the world. And here's the kicker. Many of these valuable coins are still out there, hidden in old drawers, coin jars, and forgotten collections. People often overlook them, dismissing them as common change. It's like tossing away a lottery ticket without checking the numbers. Think about it. How many times have you handled an old penny without even glancing twice? How many times have you said, "It's just a cent"? What if your "just a cent" is actually the key to a wealthy new chapter in your life? You might be wondering, okay, but how do I know if I have the right one? Great question, and I'll tell you exactly how to find out in just a moment. But before that, let's pause for a second. Imagine the thrill of holding a small, shiny coin in your hand and realizing it's worth nearly $1 million. Feels unreal, doesn't it? Now here's where it all comes together. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny with specific die errors, especially those showing doubling in the date or lettering, are the golden tickets. The key signs include sharp details on Lincoln's profile, crisp wheat lines on the reverse, and slight misalignments that reveal minting quirks. If you spot one like this, don't rush to sell it to a random buyer online. You need to have it professionally graded, because certified value can skyrocket beyond what you'd ever expect. In today's booming coin market, demand for vintage error coins has reached record highs. Collectors are chasing pieces with historical depth and scarcity. And the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is right at the center of that frenzy. It's not just a coin. It's a story frozen in time, a piece of American resilience, and a symbol of how something so small can hold such monumental worth. And here's the truth most people miss. Wealth isn't always about chasing new things. It's about recognizing value where others don't. This coin proves that fortune hides in the most unexpected places. The difference between an ordinary penny and an $875,000 treasure is simply awareness. So, before you dismiss that old change jar sitting in your kitchen, take another look. That dusty box of coins could be your ticket to financial freedom, your bridge to a wealthy lifestyle you've only dreamed of. You might just find the coin that changes your story forever. Now, here's your cliffhanger. Next week, I'm revealing another penny from the 1940s that's turning everyday collectors into overnight millionaires. You won't believe how easy it is to miss, but once you see it, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. So, if you're ready to uncover hidden wealth, hit that subscribe button drop a comment if you've got any old pennies lying around, and share this with someone who might be sitting on their own $875,000 treasure. What if I told you that a single, ordinary-looking penny sitting in your old coin jar could be worth over $650,000? That's right. A single 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny has recently rocked the collector's market, fetching a jaw-dropping $654,000. Most people would walk right past it without a second thought. But those who know, those who pay attention, are discovering fortunes hiding in plain sight. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, hold on. Because the real secret behind this penny's staggering value is not just its age or design. It's an error, a rare twist of history that makes this coin one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. And today, I'm going to reveal exactly why this coin is in such high demand, how you can identify it, and what makes it worth life-changing money. But let's be honest. How many times have you heard stories like this and thought, it'll never happen to me? Well, that's exactly what the person who found this penny thought too, until they realized what they were holding. Let's take a quick journey back to 1944. A time when the world was still at war, America was in full industrial motion, and every bit of copper was precious. During the war, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to steel to save metal for ammunition. But in 1944, something remarkable happened. A small batch of coins was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, the leftover steel ones from 1943, creating one of the most mysterious and valuable coin errors in American history. Here's the twist. The 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny from the Philadelphia Mint shouldn't even exist in this form. Most were copper, but a few were struck using leftover steel blanks by mistake, and that's what gives them their extraordinary value. These pennies have a silvery look, they don't stick to magnets, and when tested, they tell a story of a manufacturing accident that turned into a modern-day treasure hunt. Now imagine this. You find an old penny, worn down, sitting in your drawer. You feel its weight, it's slightly different. You hold a magnet nearby, and it doesn't stick. Your heart races. That's how most discoveries begin. Not with a grand search, but with curiosity. And here's something fascinating. Collectors are now offering 6 figures for verified 1944 steel wheat pennies. The demand is so intense that coin dealers and auction houses are competing to get their hands on them. We're talking bidding wars, private sales, and jaw-dropping payouts that make you question how something so small could be worth so much. And let's be real, if you've ever dropped a penny and thought, not worth picking up, this is your wake-up call. Because that one worthless penny could have paid for your dream house, a luxury car, or your next decade of vacations. Who's laughing now, right? So, before you skip this video to go check your coins, don't. You'll want to know what makes these pennies authentic and how to tell a $654,000 coin from a 1-cent coin. Now, here's where things get exciting. In today's market, the 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny error is hotter than ever. Coin values fluctuate like the stock market, but the rarest pieces are seeing record-breaking spikes. The last known sale of a 1944 steel penny hit over $654,000, and experts predict the next auction could go even higher. Why? Because these coins are disappearing into private collections, and once they're gone for good. If you own one, or even think you might, get it authenticated. The clock is ticking, and the market is surging. There's something incredibly powerful about holding a piece of history that's not just valuable, but unique. You're not just selling metal, you're selling a story, a moment in time, a mistake that changed numismatic history. And here's the best part. Every single viewer watching this right now has a chance. Maybe it's in a box of old change, in your late grandfather's coin collection, or even hiding in a forgotten jar at the back of your closet. That one find could change your financial future overnight, so the question is, have you checked your pennies yet? Because somewhere out there, another 1944 no-mint Mark Wheat penny is waiting to be discovered. Maybe in your hands, maybe in your pocket change, maybe right under your nose. Don't let it slip away. Start searching, start learning, and who knows? The next big headline about a record-breaking coin sale could have your name on it. Because in this game of hidden treasures, the smallest coin can hold the biggest fortune. And remember, in the world of rare coins, every second counts, and every penny tells a story. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next video might just reveal the secret to turning your old coins into your next $1 million opportunity. Imagine this, you're holding an old, dull copper penny, something you've probably passed over 1,000 times in your life. You drop it into a jar thinking it's worth, well, just 1 cent. But what if I told you that same penny could be worth nearly $995,000 today? Yes, almost $1 million for a coin you might already have sitting forgotten in a drawer or coin jar. Now before you roll your eyes and think, come on, a penny worth that much? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could completely change how you see every coin in your home. The 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just rare. It's one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And today, we're going to break down exactly why it's worth so much, how to identify it, and most importantly, how to make sure you don't accidentally spend a fortune at your local grocery store. Let's dive into the fascinating story behind this humble yet extraordinary coin that's turning ordinary people into overnight success stories. To understand why this coin is shaking up the collector's world, we need to go back to the post-war year of 1948. A time when America was booming with optimism and rebuilding strength. Pennies back then weren't just currency. They were symbols of everyday American life, minted mostly in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's where it gets interesting. Some 1948 pennies without any mint mark turned out to have striking errors, subtle details missed by even the keenest eyes. These weren't factory defects in the traditional sense. They were accidental masterpieces, born from slight die misalignments and metal inconsistencies that made each one unique. Collectors crave them. Investors chase them. And recently, one pristine example of a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny error sold for $995,000 at auction. That's not a typo. That's nearly $1 million for one coin. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? The answer lies in scarcity and perfection. The coin's extraordinary condition, often described as mint state, paired with its die error and no mint mark, has made it one of the holy grails for collectors who understand that rarity equals power, and power equals wealth. And here's a fun thought. Imagine explaining to your friends that your wealth came not from stocks, not from real estate, but from a 1-cent coin you found in your old change jar. Talk about a plot twist worthy of Hollywood. By the way, if you're thinking, well, I'll just grab a magnifying glass and start checking every penny I've ever touched. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what thousands of people are doing right now. Somewhere out there, someone's about to find another one of these coins. And when they do, let's just say early retirement might be on the table. The beauty and danger of coins like these is that they often go unnoticed. Every year, millions of dollars in rare coins slip through the cracks because people don't know what to look for. That's the tragedy and the opportunity. Because those who do their homework, those who take the time to understand value beyond face value, those are the ones who get rewarded. So here's what sets the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny apart. The key indicators are the sharply defined wheat stalks on the reverse, a smooth copper tone with minimal blemishes, and a slightly off-center strike, a subtle imperfection that collectors drool over. If you find one that checks all those boxes, you're not just holding a piece of history, you're holding a six-figure asset. And let's be honest, there's something thrilling about turning nostalgia into fortune. It's like uncovering buried treasure in your own home. Now, before you rush to cash in every penny you own, here's the exciting part. The market for rare coins like the 1948 wheat penny is exploding right now. With collectors and investors competing fiercely at auctions, prices are climbing faster than ever. Every month, new records are being set. It's not just a hobby anymore. It's a movement. Think about it. A small, forgotten coin from your grandfather's time could unlock a path to financial freedom. That's not hype. That's history repeating itself. Every legendary collector started with one lucky find. And maybe, just maybe, your lucky find is closer than you think. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't ignore those pennies. Because hidden among them could be a symbol of what's possible, proof that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. The story of the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just about money. It's about mindset. It's about looking beyond what others overlook. Because the truth is, wealth doesn't always come from working harder. It often comes from seeing what others fail to notice. In my next video, I'm going to show you another penny, one even rarer than the 1948, that's rumored to be worth over $1.2 million. It's a coin most people have never even heard of, But you'll want to, because once you see it, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. So make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications because your next fortune might just be waiting in the palm of your hand. Have you ever emptied your coin jar, glanced at an old penny, and thought, it's just a cent? What if I told you that one of those little brown coins, a 1951 D wheat penny, could secretly be worth over $763,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that most people wouldn't bother to pick up off the ground is changing lives. Welcome to another deep dive into America's hidden treasures, where we uncover the coins sitting quietly in your drawers, waiting to make you rich. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. But before we go any further, here's the twist. This isn't just any 1951 penny. This one carries a mysterious error that turned an everyday coin into a six-figure fortune. The kind of discovery that makes collectors' hearts race and investors fight over bids at auctions. So grab your coffee, sit tight, and let's uncover why this small piece of copper is creating big money buzz in the collector's world. The year was 1951. The U.S. Mint in Denver, known for the small D mark stamped beneath the date, was busy producing millions of wheat pennies. These coins were meant to symbolize resilience after World War II, ordinary coins for an ordinary America. But somewhere in that process, something extraordinary happened. An error. A subtle, almost invisible imperfection that would later drive collectors wild. Some say it was a double die strike. Others believe it was a minting misalignment so rare that only a handful ever escaped the mint's careful eye. Whatever the cause, those who stumbled upon it didn't just find a coin, they found a fortune. Now here's the thrilling part. One of these rare 1951 D wheat pennies recently shocked the market, fetching over $763,000. That's right, from 1 cent to nearly $750,000. Imagine holding that in your hand, feeling the weight of history, luck, and destiny pressed into that tiny circle of copper. And before you think this is just a collector's myth, auction houses across the country are actively hunting these rare error coins. Coin dealers are paying top dollar, investors are jumping in, and the demand is growing faster than ever. You see, in the world of rare pennies, scarcity creates gold. And right now, the 1951 D error penny is the golden ticket everyone wants. But let's pause for a second. You might be thinking, could I have one? Maybe it's in that old jar your grandfather left behind. Maybe it's sitting in your coin album from childhood. Or maybe, and here's where the excitement kicks in, it's rolling around in your pocket right now. So the big question becomes, how do you know if your penny is the one worth $763,000? Stay tuned, because what I'm about to tell you next could change the way you look at every coin you own. Let's talk details. The key to identifying a valuable 1951 D error penny lies in precision. On the rarest versions, the D mint mark appears slightly misplaced or even doubled, almost as if the mint couldn't decide where to strike it. The lettering, especially the word Liberty or the date 1951, might show faint doubling under magnification. Collectors call these double die or repunched mint mark errors, and when certified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the price skyrockets. These aren't just coins. They're investments, status symbols, and in some cases, family legacies. And here's the truth. The demand has never been higher. With rising interest in rare coins and limited supply, prices are surging. Every time one of these pennies appears at auction, the competition intensifies. Investors are literally fighting to get their hands on these treasures, because they know the next sale could break the $1 million mark. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, here's a little humor. Don't start tearing apart your couch cushions just yet, but do check that old coffee tin, your father's desk drawer, or that small wooden box you never bothered to open. Because that's where $1 million stories are born, in forgotten corners of ordinary lives. And remember, time is crucial. As more people discover the true value of error coins, the rarer ones will vanish into private collections. If you wait too long, you might miss your window. But if you act now, get your coins graded, appraised, and properly valued, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure worth more than some luxury homes. So here's your challenge. After this video, dig through your coins. Inspect every 1951 penny you can find. Look for that tiny D mint mark below the date. And if it looks just a little off, A little unusual, congratulations. You may have struck gold, so if you're ready to uncover your hidden fortune, don't let another day slip by. That penny you've been ignoring could be your ticket to a wealthy, free, and abundant lifestyle. Subscribe for more deep dives into America's hidden coin treasures, because next time, we're revealing another rare penny that's already making millionaires. Remember this: wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it comes from your pocket change. Now go find your 1951 wheat penny. Your story of abundance might just begin with a single cent. Imagine holding a tiny piece of copper in your hand. Something so ordinary, you might have tossed it into a jar years ago without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those old, dusty pennies sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than a luxury home? That's right. A single 1952 wheat penny with a rare mint error has shocked collectors across the nation, recently selling for an astonishing $685,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this coin is so valuable, but you'll also know how to tell if you might be sitting on one yourself. And trust me, you'll want to check your change drawer after this. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. How can that be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, that's exactly where most people go wrong. Because in the world of coin collecting, small details can make a massive difference. One tiny minting error can turn a coin from pocket change into life-changing wealth. Before we dive deeper, picture this: people are discovering these rare wheat pennies in their collections, selling them and suddenly paying off mortgages, buying dream homes, or starting businesses. And yet, most Americans have no idea they might already own one. That's both exciting and a little terrifying, isn't it? Let's go back to 1952. A time when the average car cost just $1,700 and gas was 27 cents a gallon. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. But somewhere in that process, a minting anomaly occurred. Maybe it was a double die strike, maybe a misaligned die, or an off-center impression. Whatever it was, this subtle error made certain 1952 wheat pennies unique, and now they're among the most sought-after coins in American history. Now, here's where it gets thrilling. Collectors and investors are scrambling to get their hands on these. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars, driving prices to record-breaking heights. One particular 1952 error penny recently fetched $685,000, sending shockwaves through the numismatic community. Think about that for a moment. A 1-cent coin now worth more than a Ferrari, and people are still finding them tucked away in old family collections, coin jars, and even pocket change. Can you imagine finding one and realizing you've been walking around with a small fortune all along? But here's the twist, and this might just give you chills. Many of these rare coins look almost identical to regular wheat pennies. The differences are so subtle, you'd never notice without knowing what to look for. That's why awareness is everything. Because every day, people unknowingly spend or trade away coins that could have changed their lives. So how do you know if your penny is the real deal? Well, here's where you'll want to lean in and maybe grab a magnifying glass. The rare 1952 pennies typically have doubling around the date, especially on the 1952, or a misaligned mint mark D. The surface may also show die cracks or striking inconsistencies. These tiny flaws, invisible to the untrained eye, are what make them gold, or in this case, copper mines. And let's not forget the market demand. Right now, coin collecting is exploding. As inflation rises, investors are turning toward tangible assets like rare coins. It's not just hobbyists anymore, it's serious money. Your little penny could be someone's next six-figure bid. Now, before you start tearing through your coin jar like a raccoon in a snack drawer, take a deep breath. Yes, there's a method to this madness. Not every 1952 penny is a jackpot, but if you don't look, you'll never know. And let's face it, wouldn't it be hilarious if the richest thing in your house wasn't your 401k, but a 1-cent coin hiding in an old coffee can? The truth is, rare coins like the 1952 wheat penny are becoming the new American treasure hunt. And this isn't just about money, it's about legacy. People are discovering that these coins tell stories, hold history, and carry value that transcends time. So here's the question. Are you going to let your chance slip by? Or are you going to look closer? Because right now, demand is soaring. Collectors are buying. Auctions are breaking records. Every day that passes, these coins become rarer and more valuable. Imagine finding that one coin, holding it in your palm, and realizing it's your ticket to financial freedom. Maybe even the life you've always dreamed of. That's the power of awareness. That's the thrill of discovery. And that's the magic of the 1952 D-Wheat Pennies. So don't wait. Right after watching this, grab your old coin jars, check your inherited collections, and start inspecting those pennies. The next $685,000 coin could be in your hands right now. And before you go, make sure to subscribe because next week we're uncovering another unbelievable coin. One that collectors say could soon surpass the $1 million mark. You won't want to miss it. What if I told you that right now, sitting quietly in your drawer, your old coin jar could be hiding a small copper disc worth over $765,000? Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But here's the truth. One single 1952 wheat penny, with no mint mark, has stunned collectors and investors alike, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. And before you say, "Come on, it's just a penny," let me stop you right there, because today, I'm going to show you why this humble 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny has become one of the most sought-after treasures in the US coin market, and why people are paying life-changing money for it right now. So grab your cup of coffee, or maybe your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself holding a fortune in your hands. You see, stories like this don't happen by accident. They happen when history, rarity, and timing collide perfectly. The 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of the American dream tucked inside copper. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1952. The US economy is booming post-World War II. Coins are being struck in the millions at mints across the country, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But something unusual happens at the Philadelphia Mint. A small batch of pennies, struck without a mint mark, left the presses with subtle but critical die errors, faint doubling, misalignment, and rare imperfections in the metal itself. At the time, nobody noticed. People spent these pennies on candy, gas, and newspapers. They were forgotten, scattered into circulation. But decades later, collectors began to notice something different. A handful of these 1952 no-mint mark wheat pennies had a unique texture, shine, and die pattern unseen in any other batch. And let's be honest, how many times have you looked at a penny and thought, "This little thing could buy me a house"? Probably never. Yet here we are, talking about a coin that could literally do just that, and more. So maybe it's time to stop ignoring those old jars of change sitting under the bed. Right, here's where things get fascinating. The 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't valuable just because it's old. It's valuable because it's rare, and rarity drives the entire coin market. In coin collecting or numismatics, rarity plus condition equals value. And when those two meet with a hint of mystery, that's when prices skyrocket. One of these error pennies, verified and graded in near-perfect condition by top grading authorities like PCGS, recently sold for an astonishing $765,000 at auction. Collectors battled fiercely, each determined to own a piece of American minting history. And the bidding didn't slow down. It only got more intense. You see, the demand for rare coins isn't just from collectors anymore. It's from investors. People who understand that tangible assets like gold, silver, and coins can hold and grow value even when markets crash. And right now, the wheat penny market is on fire. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if the penny you have is the one? Could yours really be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, don't go running to the coin shop just yet, because there's one crucial detail most people overlook. And it's the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth a luxury mansion. To identify this rare gem, experts look for specific die markers, subtle imperfections in the lettering, the spacing between the words E pluribus unum, and faint doubling near the date 1952. The absence of a mint mark just below the date confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. Condition is everything. A coin graded MS 67 or higher can command 6 figures easily. And as the market for historical US coins heats up, prices are soaring faster than ever before. Some experts predict these pennies could cross the $1 million threshold in the coming years. Imagine that, turning a forgotten piece of change into a legacy for your family. A coin that once bought a stick of gum now buying your dream home, your financial freedom, your next chapter. And if you're thinking, come on, my luck's not that good, let me ask you this, have you ever checked? Because luck doesn't find the lazy, it finds the curious. Go ahead, dig through your old coin jar. You never know, you might just be sitting on your retirement plan. The market is moving fast, and serious collectors are snatching up verified 1952 wheat pennies at record prices. Don't let hesitation be the reason someone else cashes in on your discovery. Every day, another coin disappears into private collections, making the remaining ones even more valuable. So after you finish this video, take a deep breath, grab a magnifying glass, and start looking. Because history doesn't just belong in museums. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket, waiting to change your life forever. If you found this story inspiring, subscribe for more hidden coin treasures and rare finds that are transforming ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. Imagine this, you're holding an old penny in your hand. It's dull, maybe a little scratched, something you'd normally overlook or toss in a jar. But what if I told you that penny could be worth nearly $896,000 today? Yes, almost $1 million, just for one single coin sitting quietly in someone's drawer right now. The 1955 no-mint Mark wheat penny isn't just rare. It's a legend among coin collectors, a treasure that's transforming ordinary Americans into overnight millionaires. And here's the kicker. Most people have no idea what they're holding. Now, before you run to your coin jar, pause. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, but also how you can identify one, authenticate it, and potentially cash in on a piece of American history worth more than most people's yearly salary. So grab your coffee, or better yet, your coin collection, and let's uncover the story of how a small mistake at the US Mint in 1955 created one of the most valuable pennies in existence. Let's rewind the clock to 1955. Eisenhower was president. Gas cost just 23 cents a gallon, and the US Mint in Philadelphia was running at full throttle. Somewhere in that busy, clanging chaos, a machine struck a batch of Lincoln wheat pennies, but something went wrong. A mechanical misalignment during the minting process caused a double impression on the coin, an error so subtle yet so powerful that it became one of the most famous in American numismatic history. But here's where it gets even more interesting. These coins weren't caught by the mint. They were accidentally released into circulation, mixed into rolls of pennies that ended up in grocery stores and cash registers across the country. For decades, nobody realized their true worth. Ordinary people spent them, gave them as change, or let them sit in jars for years. And now, decades later, collectors and investors are hunting for this elusive 1955 no-mint Mark wheat penny. Why? Because the market for rare error coins is booming. The rarity, the story, and the historical charm have turned these little copper discs into serious investment assets. One coin recently sold for a jaw-dropping $896,000, setting the market on fire and sending collectors into a frenzy. By the way, if you're thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one? Hang tight, we'll get to that. But here's a little teaser. If you've ever spotted a Lincoln penny where the date looks a little off, a little doubled, or the letters in Liberty seem shadowed, you might just have a treasure worth more than your car. I mean, think about it. How many times have you brushed off a penny on the ground because it wasn't worth bending over for? Well, if it's a 1955 wheat penny, that single bend could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's one stretch you wouldn't regret at the chiropractor's office. Now, here's where things get exciting and a little urgent. The coin market is hotter than ever. Collectors are paying premium prices, and online auctions are setting record highs. The 1955 no-mint Mark wheat penny isn't just a rare collectible anymore. It's a symbol of hidden wealth, waiting for those who know what to look for. Picture this. You find one in your old change jar, you get it authenticated, and you realize it's genuine. You sell it for $896,000. That's college tuition for your kids, a dream home down payment, or the freedom to finally live life on your own terms. These coins are the kind of once-in-a-lifetime finds that remind us wealth can come from the most unexpected places. But here's the truth. Every day that passes, more of these coins disappear into private collections. Their numbers are dwindling, and demand is skyrocketing. If you've got old coins at home, now is the time to check. Don't wait until the market moves on or prices peak, because by then, someone else will have cashed in, and you'll be left wondering what could have been hiding right under your nose. And just when you think the 1955 penny story couldn't get any crazier, wait till you hear about the 1943 copper penny that sold for over $1.7 million. Yes, a single penny. But that's a story for another day. If you've enjoyed this journey through time and treasure, don't leave without subscribing. The next rare coin we'll uncover might just be sitting in your collection, and it could change your life forever. So before you walk past that penny again, remember, some people see coins, others see opportunity. Which one are you? Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, yet so powerful it could rewrite your financial story overnight. Sounds unbelievable, right? But somewhere in America, tucked away in a dusty jar, an old 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny is waiting to be discovered, and it's worth an astounding $785,000 in today's market. Now before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, it's just a penny," hear this? Collectors across the nation are going wild over this coin. Auctions are setting records, and experts are calling it one of the most desirable coins ever struck in U.S. history. The demand is fierce. And here's the shocking part, this penny could be hiding right in your home, waiting for someone sharp enough to recognize it. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, why it's worth a fortune, and how you could turn an old copper coin into nearly $750,000. Let's rewind to 1956, the post-war boom. America was thriving, the economy was climbing, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was churning out billions of coins. Among them was the simple, humble Lincoln wheat penny, a coin so familiar, it barely drew attention. But something unusual happened that year. Some of those pennies struck in Philadelphia came out with minute errors, invisible to the naked eye but game-changing to collectors today. These weren't your everyday imperfections. We're talking about double-die errors, die cracks, misstrikes, the kind of flaws that send coin experts into a frenzy. Now here's where it gets exciting. One particular 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny, nearly flawless yet bearing a subtle error, surfaced at an auction. What happened next? Bidders went crazy. A modest coin, once worth 1 cent, soared to an unbelievable $785,000 hammer price. Let that sink in. A single copper coin, small enough to slip through your fingers, now worth more than the average American home. And here's the kicker, there's not just one. Experts believe more could still be out there. That's right. Your next trip to the attic, that old jar of pennies your grandparents left behind, it could hold one of these rare treasures. Okay, quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not just tossed it aside or used it for change. I mean, really looked at it. Exactly. Most of us ignore them, but that's what makes this opportunity so powerful. So next time you spot a 1956 penny, don't just shrug it off. You might be staring at the very coin that could send you on your first-class trip around the world, or pay off your mortgage in one clean swoop. Now, you might be wondering, why are collectors willing to pay such enormous sums for a coin like this? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of American craftsmanship, a tangible piece of post-war history, and a masterpiece of minting gone slightly wrong. Each error tells a story of precision, imperfection, and chance. And for collectors, that story is priceless. Combine that with near-perfect condition, and you have a coin that transcends its humble value. That's why the current market is hotter than ever. Prices for rare wheat pennies have skyrocketed over the last few years, and experts predict the upward trend will continue as collectors compete to secure what's left of these elusive coins. And here's the truth. The window of opportunity is shrinking. Once the last few 1956 no-mint mark error pennies are locked away in private collections, their public availability will vanish, and values could explode even higher. Imagine missing out on that. Imagine finding out later that you once held a $785,000 coin. and spent it on a coffee. That's the kind of regret no one wants. So here's your mission. Check your collection. Pull out that old jar, those rolls of coins, those forgotten treasures in drawers and shoeboxes. Take a closer look at every 1956 penny you find, especially the ones without a mint mark. Because if you spot the right one with that subtle die error, you won't just be holding history, you'll be holding freedom. And if you think this is the end of the story, think again. There's another penny out there, even rarer than the 1956 no mint mark. One that could be worth over $1 million. Until then, don't underestimate the power of what's in your pocket, because sometimes wealth doesn't come from hard work alone. Sometimes it comes from recognizing what others overlook. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, share it with someone who loves collecting, and subscribe for more hidden coin stories that could change your life. The next fortune might already be in your hands. All you have to do is look closer. Imagine opening that old jar of coins sitting on your kitchen shelf, the one that's been gathering dust for decades, and pulling out a single copper penny, only to realize it's worth more than a luxury house in Beverly Hills. Sounds unreal, right? But it's not. Because one rare 1958 D-Wheat penny error has stunned collectors and investors alike with a staggering current market value of $765,000. Yes, that's right. A single cent, now worth nearly $750,000. Now, before you rush to grab your magnifying glass, let's take a deep breath, because this isn't just about a coin. This is about opportunity. It's about how something so ordinary, so overlooked, can turn into a life-changing discovery hiding right under your nose. But here's the catch. Only a few people will ever find this rare error coin. Will you be one of them? Stay with me till the end of this video, because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify it, and how to turn your old coins into your next big payday. Back in 1958, the U.S. Mint in Denver was producing millions of wheat pennies, the last of their kind before the Lincoln Memorial design took over in 1959. To most people, these coins were nothing special. They were pocket change, a way to buy a soda or a pack of gum. But hidden among those millions, a tiny handful of coins slipped through the cracks with a minting error so rare, it has since become legendary among collectors. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. The 1958 D-error penny features a double die obverse, meaning the date and the liberty on the front of the coin appear slightly doubled under magnification. It's a result of a die misalignment during production, a mistake that should have been caught, melted down, and destroyed. But somehow, a few coins made it out into circulation. And here's the twist. Decades later, collectors began uncovering these rare pieces. Some found them in old coin rolls, others in family inheritances. One collector even stumbled upon it in an estate sale, paying less than $1 for what turned out to be a $765,000 jackpot. Now, you might be thinking, that kind of luck only happens to other people. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked your change drawer? Or that jar in your garage? You might just be sitting on the kind of coin that could change your life. But hang on, before we dive into what makes this particular penny so valuable, let's pause for a moment. Why is it that tiny pieces of copper can command prices that rival exotic cars and penthouse condos? It's simple. Scarcity drives desire. The 1958 D-double die penny isn't just a coin. It's a piece of American history, frozen in time. Every scratch, every imperfection tells a story. It's a reminder that value can emerge from the unexpected, that sometimes our past holds the key to our future wealth. And here's where excitement meets urgency. Because as awareness of this coin grows, the market demand is skyrocketing. Collectors, investors, even museums are competing to secure these rare pieces before they disappear into private collections forever. In auctions, the bidding wars are fierce. $100,000, $300,000, and now the top verified specimen is valued at a jaw-dropping $765,000. So let's be real, this isn't just about collecting. It's about investing. The same way others invest in gold, art, or property, rare coins are a tangible, appreciating asset, one that can fit right in your palm. And unlike volatile stocks or digital currencies, this coin's value is backed by history, scarcity, and human fascination. But here's a funny thought. Imagine explaining to your friends that your next big financial win came from a penny. A penny. Not a startup, not crypto, not real estate. A 1-cent coin from 1958. It's almost poetic, isn't it? Now, here's where your story begins. If you have old coins lying around, this is your moment. Don't underestimate what's in your hands. Check for the D mint mark just below the date. Look closely for doubling on the numbers or letters, especially the 9 and the 8. If you see even the slightest trace of doubling, don't ignore it, because that tiny detail could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the kicker. Experts say that as time passes, the demand for high-grade, error-free coins will only increase. That means the few 1958 D-double die pennies known today could easily surpass their current value. We're not talking about a coin worth thousands anymore. We're talking about potential million-dollar pieces in the near future, so don't wait. Every day that passes, these coins become rarer, more valuable, and harder to find. And who knows, maybe the next $765,000 penny is sitting right in your own collection, waiting for you to notice it. Because remember, wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes, it's already in your hands, quietly waiting for someone with vision to recognize its worth. So, take this as your sign. Pull out those old jars, search through those drawers, and start looking. Because if one collector can turn a penny into a fortune, why not you? In my next video, I'll reveal the 3 most overlooked penny errors still circulating today that could make you rich, including one so rare, experts believe fewer than 10 exist. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because your financial breakthrough might be one coin away.